Sporting Journal Radio, presented by Onyx.
Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Brett Amundsen. Thanks for tuning in on this station right here by downloading the podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts or by listening on demand at sportingjournalradio.com. Or maybe you're listening to this on the Finding Fins Fishing podcast or watching the show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever it is you're watching it. Thank you for watching it. And today we got a really cool show because there was a huge tournament on Ottertail Lake here recently. It was a National Walleye Tour Championship. And today we got the winner, Eric McQuoid, on the show with us, and Angler of the Year Drake Hurd on the show with us, along with Erik Osberg from Ottertail Lakes Country. Gentlemen, first of all, congratulations to all of you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And I say congratulations to you as well, Erik Osberg, because that's a big event happening in your backyard, and it sounds like everything, aside from having some low water, which you guys managed to get through, it sounds like everything went off without a hitch.
Thanks to the anglers, it went off without a hitch. I was thanks to guys like Eric and Drake who put on a good show. It went off. It exceeded my expectations. Let's put it that way. So a good event all around.
And I'll come back to you on what you had to go through to make everything run smoothly there. But the other Eric, let's talk to you. First of all, congratulations. I mean, obviously you always go into a tournament expecting or hoping to win. But did you expect to win this tournament?
Honestly, I didn't. I just went out there to try to have fun. The whole week of practice was tough for me. I think I only had like 7 or 8 walleyes all week long. My biggest fish was probably 18 inches.
Oh, wow.
I kind of had the mindset going into the tournament that I just wanted to go out there, have fun. We accomplished the goal of making it to the championship, and now it's the easy part.
Heck yeah, man. Well, congratulations. And I want to ask you, what you did to win or what worked for you or what advice you'd give. I want to come back to Drake here for just a second, too. Going into this, because you didn't know that you'd be Angler of the Year until after this tournament, right? Did you think you had a chance for it?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I was an outside chance. How it ended up playing out, I would have never dreamed it would have happened that way, but I couldn't be happier, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's some crazy things that happen in these tournaments, and one of them happened to me, and it's awesome.
What did something crazy happen? Or are you talking about just winning Angler of the Year?
Well, just Angler of the Year, and I mean, I was sitting in 3rd place. I had an outside chance. I mean, Mark Kortz and Chase Parsons are ahead of me, who are both, extremely good anglers. They've been well known for a long time, and to have both of them struggle the first day was kind of surreal, and I had an unbelievable first day. So. That just gave me that much more confidence going into the second day that I could actually finish the thing up. It was like a 30-point swing, and there's only 40 boats in the whole thing. So to have that happen on that day was pretty cool.
All right, Eric, back to you. What do you credit your success in this tournament? What helped you win?
I was using 2 different things. So I was using the Garmin Panoptics to just move around these different flats to find the fish. I was working just outside of the weed line, so looking at the live scope, it really helped me to stay just outside of that too. And then targeting individual fish where I could see if they're a bigger fish or if there's a school of 2 or 3 or 4, and then throwing an Acme Hyper Rattle right over top of them. Right, half of my under 20 inchers came halfway down the water column. So I was able to cast out there and keep jigging above their head and just make force in a bite.
Yeah, I mean, you were basically just hunting fish, right? You'd find them and then just cast and cast and cast at them?
Yep, yeah, exactly. But pretty much anything that looked like a walleye mark, or I even casted at some rocks or some weed patches just to see if I can get one out of there. My biggest fish of the tournament, actually, I thought it was a rock. I threw at it 20 different times. She finally ate it.
How big was that?
That was just over 28. It was 9.5 pounds.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Yep. That was a great one.
There it is. Look at that.
Next cast was a 6.5 pounder that was about 26 inches too.
2 casts in a row. You caught 28, just over 28 and a 20. What did you say? Say that again.
About just over 28.5 and a 26.5.
2 casts in a row. Wow. Man.
You know, yeah, it was just a little pod right there.
When that happened, did you say, I got a chance of winning this thing?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think that was a quarter after 11, so I had all my weight for day 2 already. It definitely allowed me to go pre-fishing for day 3. Try to get ready for the big north wind coming.
Drake, had you fished? You're from Alexandria, Drake, is that right?
Yep.
So
From Alec.
You've probably fished Ottertail a few times then.
Yeah, I've fished Ottertail a lot. I've actually won quite a few tournaments out there, and so I had some experience going in, so I think that kept me a lot more relaxed. I got to sleep in my own bed for the tournament, and Eric was staying at my house, so we were happy all the way around.
So now wait a minute. You two guys, were you guys helping each other out? Be like, hey, what did you find today? Was there a no talk about the lake allowed when you got back to the house, or how did that work?
No, we helped each other out. I mean, we shared a lot of waypoints and stuff throughout the week, and that's kind of what we've done all year long. We've traveled together, myself, Eric, and Kevin, his dad. So we knew we were kind of onto something special. I was honestly having a little better bite than Eric was, but he had confidence in what he's doing, and that's 99% of fishing, is just having confidence in what he was doing. What a lot of people don't realize is that, like, none of his fish were, well, I shouldn't say none of them, but a lot of them weren't anywhere near the bottom. Everyone focuses on walleyes being on the bottom, and his fish were, like he said, halfway in the water column. And for what he did, I mean, I can name a handful of tournaments that they don't just they handed it to us. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He just handed it to us.
Man, that's awesome. How old are you guys again? Eric, you're 21, aren't you?
Yep, 21.
21.
Yeah.
Drake, how old are you?
I'm 30. I'm 34.
Okay.
Ripe old age, 34.
That's pretty awesome. And Eric, actually, you and Dan went to school together, right? Or knew each other from Bemidji State?
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. So going in, I'll ask this question to both you guys. Going into the tournament, did you have a plan and did you stick to it, or did you adjust that as the tournament went on?
You can go ahead, Eric. I'll let you answer first.
So everything I've heard from the last few weeks is all the shallow stuff. And that's kind of what Drake was enforcing with me too. And all week long I was trying shallow, and I couldn't get very many bites to go. Besides all the sturgeon, but there's a lot of sturgeon that like.
Really? Were you catching some sturgeon?
Just a couple.
Yeah, like 3 or 4. I had to help him multiple times, like, lift these things.
That's awesome. That's like that's kind of becoming not so much of a secret anymore about that lake, is the sturgeon in there. That's actually kind of fun. Although when you're trying to catch walleyes for a tournament, I'm sure it gets a little annoying after a while.
Yeah, it was a tough practice, so it made it fun to switch it up and catch sturgeon every once in a while. But I tried going shallow as much as I could, and I just couldn't get the bites to go, so I kind of went back to what I had confidence in all year and all the last couple of years. I just slid out deep, and I found where they were at.
Well, I was telling people that you guys should have been listening to our show for the last month or two, because we talk about Ottertail all the time here, and it's all been shallow bite for quite a while. So is that, Drake, did you have kind of the same approach?
Yeah, so I actually got front row seats to all this going on. Eric and Tom Hoyen, who took second in the tournament, were probably about 100 to 200 yards away from me. I was up shallower in that 3 to 6 foot range, and then Eric and Tom were, like I said, I could see them the whole day. They were doing circles around each other, so it was pretty interesting to see and watch it all go down. But I've always known Ottertail is a shallow lake. I've always fish shallow. I told them I caught a fish on a bottom bouncer in like 20 feet of water, and I said, that's probably the deepest fish I've ever caught in Ottertail. I mean, I've always just stayed shallow, but lo and behold, Eric just dominated, and he's a little deeper, 12 to 16 or whatever he was in. So it was pretty interesting to see. I mean, these guys are the best in the country, so they know how to catch fish, and they're going to catch them a whole bunch of different ways. So.
Yeah, man. And that's to go up against some of those guys, I mean, some of those names that were in that tournament, you're right, they do know how to catch fish, and to come out above them. And they're all pretty good guys too, right? Did they come up and congratulate you guys? Is it pretty friendly? Do you get some rivalries in there? Eric, maybe you can answer that question.
It was all really nice. We're competitors on the water, but once we get off the water, we all encourage each other and congratulate each other.
Sure.
It was definitely a good feeling to have all the guys I've looked up to my whole life be up there on top and have them all witness what I just did.
Well, let's talk about your life. 21 years old. You obviously have spent a lot of time on the water. Talk about getting into fishing and what got you into walleye fishing and made you decide to get into it competitively.
But pretty much since I was born, I've been on the water with my dad. With him owning a resort to Mille Lacs Lake and then traveling to all these events with him. And then being the third generation angler in our family. And him and I started fishing local tournaments. I think I was about 8 years old. And then we jumped up to the Masters Walleye Circuit to travel nationally when I was 15. And that just kind of got me hooked even deeper. And then the last couple of years, I've done the co-angling side of the National Walleye Tour just to help learn that much more. And then this year, I just made the jump to the pro side.
And Drake, you guys had co-anglers. Did you have different co-anglers each day in the boat with you? Is that right?
Yeah. So the first day went on points. Whoever was in first got the first co-angler, second, third, so on and so on. So I actually had a young guy, McKeever, who ended up winning Angler of the Year for the co-angler side.
Oh, wow.
In my boat the first day. And then I had another guy the second day and third day. So you get to hear all walks of life. That's kind of one of the things that I think helps me relax is you get to, talk with these guys throughout the day and get to learn, more about them as you're fishing with them. And they ask questions and it's a great time out on the water.
That's a cool picture. That picture you just showed, Dan. Bring that picture back up again. Cause who took that picture, Eric? Do you know? Robert Cardenas. Okay. It's a nice photo, and you guys must have been well lit because I noticed things like that lighting in photos, and there must have been some lights set up and everything. That was a cool picture.
Yeah, the sun was about perfect for that one.
Mother Nature lit that one, yeah. Brett. That one it worked out perfectly where we had the weigh-in. The dock, went out to the east, and so right at that 5:30, the sun was just hitting the end of that dock just perfectly. So Mother Nature lit that one. Natural light.
Erik Osberg, we talked a week before the tournament about water levels, and I know Dan was there and he was ready to jump in and help you if you needed to move boats around or whatever. How did it end up going for you?
As well as could be expected. I mean, I appreciate the angler's patience and tolerance for, I launched my boat there the other night, Tuesday, whatever date, I don't even know what day today is, but I launched my boat there the other night and I was like, what a pain in the butt this is. I can't imagine, if I was trying to compete in a walleye tournament for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we got the boats every morning. We got the boats in. And then in the afternoon, that's me in there in the water there. We just by hand got the boats to the docks, and the anglers crawled out of the boats and went up on the docks. And day one was a little bit more of a circus than day two. We were learning as we went. But again, I can't tell you how appreciative we are of the anglers and the staff of the NWT for putting up with it. If they'd have been cranky, it wouldn't have worked so good. But they took it in stride, and we just dealt with it, and it didn't harm anything.
Dan was telling me it was a little cool up there, and you're walking around in that water in your shorts.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe waders, but you're pushing those big boats around, man. Those boats are heavy, right? And so you're bringing them up into the sand, and you're trying to get them back out of the sand. Those boats, those are some heavy boats, and so at first it was a little cold, but it was kind of like exercising, right? Eventually you were sweating underneath, and it all worked out.
That looked like, I think it was a nice day overall for it. Maybe a little breezy out there.
Well, I think the weather worked out perfect. I mean, especially a late September event, you don't know what you're going to get. And the sun was shining. You're gonna have to send me some of these, Dan. But a late September event, you never know what you're gonna get. And the weather on day 1 was perfect. The weather on day 2 was perfect. The wind, like Eric mentioned, there was a pretty strong north wind on day 3, but we only had 40 boats. You know, it was, or excuse me, we only had 10 boats. It was 40 boats, and then down to 10 on the final day. So whatever problems came up, we knew we could solve them if there was only 10 of them. So, yeah, I was ecstatically pleased with how the weather turned out.
So I saw a post on the National Walleye Tour Facebook page. A guy put together some stats, John Balla, looked like. Yep. And Eric, he talked about the success rate, the amount of fish that were caught, and how it was a higher average of fish getting caught on Ottertail than some of the other lakes where the tournaments have been held. Erik Osberg. Erik Osberg. Like that's a testament to Ottertail Lake, I think.
Yeah, and again, and Drake noticed this, but I was pretty nervous. I'm not even competing, and I was nervous going into the tournament because what if these bags are tiny, and what if nobody catches any fish, and this could blow up in our face, right? But and it's funny because I don't know, unless the anglers were trying to keep secrets, but I don't know of any angler who said that they had an awesome week of practice, right? Like it was kind of doom and gloom leading up to the tournament, and then for whatever reason, again, these guys figured it out, but the fish kind of got in the mood, and day 1 of the tournament was a Wednesday, and the bag, the top bag was around 17 pounds, and then day 2, McQuoid comes in with a 23-pound bag on day 2 for 5 fish, and then there was some high teens, and then Eric got a 19 something on the third day, and so the Ottertail Lake is like that though. It'll humble, and Drake mentioned it earlier. Mark Kortz, who was leading for Angler of the Year, been at the game a long time. He zeroed on day 1, and it's a humbling body of water, but as these guys proved, it's a body of water that has a ton of potential, and it can be rewarding as well.
Eric, the other Eric, what did you end up winning?
I was a Ranger 621 Pro with a 300 Mercury on it.
Wow.
And then 30,000 cash.
Dang.
I think it was like 121,000 total.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Good.
Well, you cut out there a little bit. What are you fishing out of? What were you fishing out of in this tournament?
621
Oh.
Ranger. The 300 emerald on it.
Oh, so now you got two 621s with 300s on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell this one. I've been leasing it for my dad for a couple of years now, and time to move on to a newer one.
Dude, I don't know.
Perfect time to win one.
Yeah, I don't know what's cooler though. I mean, I do know what's cooler, but it's still pretty cool just getting one of those big checks with your name on it, right? I mean, just even if it's just that's pretty cool. You get to keep that? Is that up on the wall somewhere?
Yep, that's sitting in my house right now.
That's cool.
My brother told me after our last event, I took 10th place there. He told me to bring my little check back and go get a big one.
There you go. Well, you certainly did. What's up next for you?
Currently we're just pre-fishing in Lake City, Minnesota for the Masters Walleye Circuit Championship. That starts tomorrow and runs the next 3 days.
Okay. That'd be a pretty cool story. Do some back-to-backs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It should be fun. The bite's a little tough down here too, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'll tell you, like what the other Eric said there about pre-fishing being tough. I saw that from a lot of the guys. They were posting stuff on social media about it being a bit of a struggle. So I was a little curious about how things were gonna end up. But obviously conditions change like they tend to do sometimes on lakes like that. Drake, what's next for you, man?
I just want to tell everyone, Erik Osberg, I've never seen him so nervous going into this tournament because we're doing interviews and stuff. He's like, "Do you think guys are gonna catch him?" I'm like, "Erik, they'll catch him. Don't worry. Like, they're gonna catch him. They're fishermen right now." And I've never seen him so nervous. And then after the first day, I'm like, "Steve told you," and he's like, "Yeah, I know." So it was pretty funny to see how much Erik was sweating away throughout the tournament, but they did a great job. As far as what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit back and relax for a month or two here and try to shoot some greenheads and maybe sit in a bow stand for a few weeks and see if I can't shoot something.
There you go. I like that plan. That's a good one. Where all for like the National Walleye Tour, where all do you guys fish with these tournaments? Like, what's the scope of the geographical boundaries of the lakes you guys fish?
As far as this year, we started in South Dakota, then we went over to Green Bay, then we went to Lake Erie in Ohio, then back to South Dakota, and then we ended up in Minnesota. So we're kind of across the upper Midwest, and then next year, I mean, it's kind of a similar schedule, but the championship is actually out in Dunkirk, New York.
Oh, wow.
So it'd be a hike to get out there, but at the same time, it's great to see it expanding and getting bigger. I think every year they're expanding. The NWT does a great job of that and trying to include more anglers, and that's what they're trying to do this year this next year coming up. So,
and Erik Osberg, I mean, you got to probably just take a vacation at this point, right? You've had a couple big events in your neck of the woods here this year.
It's been a busy summer. I keep threatening to take time off work, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Like every day I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not going to work today. And before I know it, it's 1 p.m. No, there are no big, huge events on my horizon. So yeah, sometime soon, I'm going to take some time off and probably do some fishing and just try to relax a little bit and just do the day to day.
I mean, we probably should have gone out and chased some muskies here right about now. Maybe last week.
Well, it's not too late.
No,
it's
that's
not
true.
Too late.
That's true.
Drake might have a lure or two laying around, and then I know a pretty couple good spots up here, but yeah, it's muskie fishing time, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Erik, the other Erik, what's going to be your approach in this upcoming tournament, or is that a secret right now?
I'll pretty much just gonna keep running around and see if we can land on a couple. Get one here and one there, and it's been all we can find in practice so far. But
man, those electronics being that allow you to see so much under the water, it's literally changing the game, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very tough to fish without it now.
I bet.
I've been on the boat with my dad the last couple of days, and he doesn't have the live scope yet. It's almost boring sitting there.
So when you're searching, let's break this down and just give some tips for people. When you're out there searching, are you trolling while you're doing that? Or are you literally just hitting spots, looking, and if you don't see fish, you're moving on to the next spot? How fast are you moving around when you're looking like this?
So like on Ottertail when I was there, I'd roll up to a hump and I'd draft around the 2D a little bit, but I wouldn't see a whole lot. So I'd put the trolling motor and the live scope down and go around anywhere from 1 to 2 miles an hour and just keep looking around. The nice part for going that speed is you can still pitch a jigging Rap or whatever else right at them and have a chance to catch them as you're moving faster. So
were you were throwing the what did you say you were, the hyper rattles?
Yep, hyper rattle.
Is that what you were pretty much throwing the whole time, or were you swapping hooks out?
I watched that the whole time. I had my Colton running a jig and a chub or a Lindy rig and a chub. Otherwise, I was just pretty much committed to that hyper rattle. It's just been that much of a confidence bait for me.
So that's something you
color in the hyper rattle.
One color. Well, I was going to be my next question was the color.
Yeah.
And so you had a color that worked. Was it one color that worked on Ottertail, or is it one color that you like everywhere?
It's one color I like everywhere.
Is he going to tell? You think he's going to tell us what the color is?
No way. Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right.
Yeah, it's just their white perch one. It's in a bunch of interviews already. So
Perch. I was going to say perch.
Keep blowing it up.
For sure. Well, you should get a crate of them sent to you now for free after this, probably.
I'm hoping so.
And a live scope.
They actually just emailed me here as we were talking. So
Well, tell them you're doing another interview to talk about how great they are. You'll get some. You're going to sell so much product for these guys, probably after this. But man, being able to, I think it's a different. It's not really a different way of thinking about how to fish, but being able to literally just go and target a spot, look to see if there's fish there, and if there isn't, and to move on. It just seems like fishing has gotten to be more efficient when you can see that much under the water like that.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Drake, did we talk about did you say what you were throwing?
I was jigging a minnow, to be honest with you. I was live scope, same thing. I was just pitching at fish, obviously a lot shallower, 3 to 6 feet of water. But when you're up there, there's that sandgrass. Eric was right outside the sandgrass, and I was up in it. And you just couldn't get a glide bait through there at all. I tried multiple times. I have the exact same lures. He's made sure I had those exact same lures throughout the year. But I ended up just going to the plain jig and minnow, and that's how I caught all my.
Is there any story you can share with us that you haven't told anybody yet from the tournament? Or did you say you made Eric sleep on the floor or something at one point, or did you?
Well, I was debating about it. After the first day he was leading, he's sleeping in my basement. We have an extra spare bed down there. And then after the second day, he handed it to us, and I'm like, I might have to switch beds with you. You can sleep upstairs or something. But then my wife didn't like that idea. So we let him stay downstairs, and he closed it out. So I'm a pretty superstitious guy, as those guys know, and I wasn't going to have him change anything. It was all going right for both of us. So.
Erik Osberg, did it get a little crowded around the way in there?
Yeah, the crowds were great. Again, I didn't know what to expect for this event. And it was the last event of a summer full of big events, and so I probably didn't pay it the attention it deserved until late in the game. But again, the weather cooperated, so the crowds were excellent. And I was really, really, really impressed with the NWT staff. They came with, I don't know if it was 15 people that travel with the tournament, and their leader, Anthony Wright, was a calm, cool, and collected guy, and everybody knew their job and did their job. And as Drake mentioned, I'm more of a chicken with the head cut off running kind of guy, and so it was nice to have that calming influence, and they all just did their jobs, and they did it with a smile on their face and a can-do attitude. So if there's any other community who's wondering, should we host an event like this? Should we host the NWT? I had I wouldn't say doubts, but I had reservations going into it, and they blew my expectations out of the water. The local businesses, these guys come up at least a week in advance, right? They're staying at resorts, they're eating at restaurants, they're buying gas, they're buying bait, they're getting their vehicles. I didn't comprehend the economic impact, the immediate economic impact that this thing would have those 3 days, and then the week and a half, 2 weeks leading up to it. People that I know that came to the event who weren't really associated with it were impressed. They're like, wow, what a first class organization. It looked good. And then let's not forget, this will all end up being a TV show that's gonna, it'll be 2 episodes. So from a long-term exposure standpoint, so not only did it provide an immediate economic boost to the area, thanks to these guys and their friends and family, but long-term, we're going to hear the name Ottertail Lake more and more and more for quite some time.
So your job was just making sure everything went smoothly for the staff, and making sure that you could get boats in and out, and then occasionally driving co-anglers to the right access?
Yeah, there was one, Greg actually fished with Drake on the last day.
Yep.
And the second morning, or it was the second morning. So I was at the access each morning, just lending a hand, helping out where I needed to, whatever. And this guy, Greg, gets out of his truck. It's pitch dark, right? It's 6:05 in the morning. And he's like, "Is this the east access?" I'm like, "No." And you could just kind of see the panic come over him. He's like, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" And I'm like, "Don't worry. I'll give you a ride over to the right access." And so the whole way there, he was nervous. You could tell he was, well, he felt bad about messing up which access it was, but he was just nervous. So, and he fished with Keith Cavias.
Keith Cavias.
Yeah. One of the bigger names in the walleye industry. And I was like, dude, just enjoy the day, enjoy the moment. You're going fishing with Keith Cavias today, right? Like, just try to relax and calm down and enjoy the moment. And he obviously had a good enough day that he got to fish in the finale on Friday with Drake. So yeah, I was just where, other duties as assigned. I will say this. I walked up the first day when I met the crew of the NWT, and when I introduced myself, I said, whatever it is, it's my fault. Okay? Whatever complaint anybody wants to have or file, just tell them it was Eric's fault. and then we'll figure it out from there. So that I think I'm going to get a T-shirt that says it's my fault. And then just blame me.
Talking, you probably had a chance to talk to some of those co-anglers. How much fun is that for those co-anglers to get to fish with these guys?
I would defer to Drake on that. Drake, how much fun do these guys have when they're in the boat with you?
Yeah, I mean, it is fun. Absolutely. I mean, like he said, I've get guys from all walks of life. Greg that I got to fish with, we just told that story about, was a Milwaukee firefighter for 30 years and just retired, and now he gets to do what he wants to do, and he wants to fish these tournaments. So and then versus the guy I had the first day, McKeever, 18, just graduated high school. He's working at Shields in Montana, and he's loving it. Now he gets to travel. So you hear all walks of life, and you hope they have a good time, and you hope you catch a big bag while they're in the boat with you.
And Eric, did you say you started you fished as a co-angler for a couple of years? Do I remember you saying that?
Yep. Yeah, I did a couple of events the last few years, and then last year I did the whole season. But it was definitely a very fun experience, whether you had a good day or bad. You learned all the different little techniques, and all the best guys in the country. They're little specifics that might be different than yours or someone else's.
Does somebody stand out for you that you maybe fish as a co-angler with, where you learned something that really, really you went wow, and it helped you along the way?
So I fished with Ben Teets last year in Sault Ste. Marie, and that was the first time I got to see the live scope in action. So that definitely got me started in the live scope for sure.
Sure. Very cool.
I probably would have gotten it anyway, but it's to see the three fish he caught right away, just watching it. It was definitely a lot of fun.
Is that how he did it? He would hunt basically and try to find them first, and then pester them until they bit?
Yeah, it was similar. He had a couple humps that we were kind of going back and forth on, just seeing when they'd roll up on it. But all the pros I had last year were a lot of fun to be in the boat with.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I'll tell you what. I know you're. I think you're fishing with your dad, right? He's back fishing behind you right now. Is that right?
Yeah, he's rigging up all the rods for tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'll let you get back to getting ready for that tournament. I appreciate the time, all you guys. Why don't you let us know where we can find you guys on social media. Eric, we'll start with you.
Just Eric McQuoid on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Drake, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm Drake Hurd on Facebook and Instagram, and then a lot of my company stuff is Fin Gear or Renegade Outdoor Innovations. You can take a look at that stuff.
What is that stuff all about?
So we manufacture fishing lures for companies all over the world. Some of the stuff is kind of behind us here. We do everything from bass lures to musky lures, and then we manufacture graph mounts, rod holders, all sorts of stuff for fishing and boats and stuff like that.
And you're wrapping bass boats right now.
Yeah, wrapping boats too. We do a lot of boats, a lot of trucks, so it's a good time. I got my hands in a little bit of everything.
Dang, I've seen a lot of guys that fish, either fish, heavy or guide. They'll have pegboard in their garage or in their shop, whatever, with all their favorite lures. It'll look like a bait shop, basically, tackle shop, in their garage. So I thought maybe you were just sitting in front of your tackles, your tackle selection. No, this is your business. That was brilliant camera setup on your part, is what that was. It was marketing.
I tried. Well, when we were in the
His basement looks the same too.
Yeah. When we were in the pre-video, I'm like, God, these guys have such nice backgrounds. I'm sitting in my car, get in front of this stuff so I look presentable for this whole thing.
That's funny. Well, I appreciate the effort, and I appreciate the time today, guys. And Erik Osberg, what do you got coming up for Ottertail Lakes country here next?
Well, that our Rural by Choice video series is our big thing right now. And there is, I'm not going to break any news here, but there's a big announcement coming with that. So stay tuned for that. But the Rural by Choice video series has been well received, and we're 3 episodes are out, 4 episodes are coming. The next one, appropriately enough, the next one we go fishing. I take Corey Heppola fishing. He gets in my boat and we go try to catch some bluegills. So it's a lot of fun and hopefully informative too. But if anybody wants to learn more about that or anything else we got going on, they can go to ottertaillakescountry.com.
All right, Eric, Drake, and Dan, of course. Nice job, Dan, back there. We had a battery situation. Dan had to scramble there for a little bit to get working, but we got her under control. Gentlemen, congratulations once again, and thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Hear more at sportingjournalradio.com or wherever you get podcasts. Devil's Lake is legendary, and this summer has been legendary for walleyes. Don't miss out. Call Haybale Heights Campground and Resort today to book one of their modern cabins on East Bay. The cabins are furnished with a full bathroom, kitchen, and all the amenities like high-speed internet and are clean following CDC guidelines. Staying at Haybale Heights gives you full access to a private boat launch, fish cleaning station, and beach area. Learn more at haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com. Plan your trip to legendary Devil's Lake today.